Hello, good morning. You are welcome back to the second part of the training on Sinopia. My name is Ibrahim Wada. Thank you for being on this platform. Remember, Sinopia is a link data editor for catalogers. And in the previous training, I described it as a web-based application that will be used by catalogers not only for the creation of metadata or reusing of metadata. It is also meant to enable catalogers to enrich the metadata on the linked data database. So remember, immediately you start enriching or creating metadata on the production part of the linked data database, you automatically become part of the global metadata users. So this part, we are going to begin by searching for data created in Sinopia. You need to be familiar with how the data looks like, or the data actually look like. So the first thing I need to do is to click on my browser, and remember, we are going to use the practicing part of the Sinopia. So I'm going to type stage.sinopia.io, as you can see here. So always go to this version of the Sinopia. So I'm going to press enter, and I am brought here. So yesterday I created an account which I'm going to be using to demonstrate what you are going to be learning here. So my username is Ibrahim, and my password is best known to me. Let me try if I do not forget. So I've logged in, and let me check if I have been given the permission. Otherwise, I will use the one that I have. So I've not been given permission to use this account. So let me go and let me switch on to the account that I have permission to use other functions or functionalities that are here on the Sinopia. So I log out. So I'm going to use my account with that computer, and I'll log in. Okay, so you can see that immediately I log in to before I continue, let me show you something. This is what I expect you to see if your own account has been granted access to edit, to create, and as well as enrich the metadata using the Sinopia application. So now, there are a series of things for you to look up to here before you continue. First of all, to the left top corner here, you see dashboard. So you'll be using this dashboard all along. I'll be telling you what to do with this dashboard. Now, the second thing that you have to be familiar with is the resource templates. So for now, the training I'm going to be doing right now is going to be on search. So you don't need to worry yourself about action, load, RDF, or export RDF, or something sort of that. So we'll be concentrating on search. in this topic that I'm going to be working on now. So now the first thing you need to do is to click on is to realize that you have search menu here, and behind it you see Sinopia written. Let me bold it so that you can see. You see search Sinopia. The search for data created in Sinopia is to enable you check whether something has already been created or something has already been cataloged. You know, as a cataloger, you have information resource or you have information resources at your disposal. So you wouldn't want to repeat cataloging a material that has already been cataloged by someone else. So you will wish to search and find out if a particular information resource has been cataloged. Okay, sorry for the little interlude. So now the reason why we are starting with the search is because, as I just told you, you can find a description is in Sinopia so that you can view it or you can edit it. And so you leave the search. There are many other type of database, other databases that are here. You can see lots of them here. So you don't bother yourself with them right now. Let's continue to use Sinopia because that is what we are looking at. Okay, so this is where you type your string. This is where you type whatever. Whenever we hear a word string, we are saying whatever kind of word or word that you want to search is what you refer to as string. So in my example that I posted on the WhatsApp, I say you can search for French. Alright. So you search for French and see what you get. So you press enter. Now this is the French I typed, and all you can see here are the results that come out. So everything you can see here relates to French. So whenever you perform a search, Sinopia looks for your search terms in all the literal data from any field. Literal data meaning any data that has been entered by anybody from anywhere at any time from the beginning to this moment, as long as the French word appear or is included or is part of the string, the catalog, the bibliographic information on the database, the Sinopia will bring it up for you. So remember, the searching is not case sensitive. It doesn't care whether it start with capital letter or start with small letter, or whether it is written in capital letter or small letter. It's not case sensitive. So that is how it is. So, but again, you can sort whatever that you can sort the result. You can rearrange the result that appear here using this function, this menu here. Can you see? Sort. So by the time I click on this small tiny arrow, you see there are various sorting ways here. You can see you can sort by label in ascending order, label by descending order, by modified date, or by newest first, or by modified date oldest first. These are the available options that are available, or by relevance. So that is very, very important. For example, now if I select descending order, you see that within a blink of eye, if you can see, the information that were available here is different from what you can see, what you saw before. And remember, this is the kind of the link we are talking about, this class. But we'll be talking about the how to link or items, how to link instance, how to link work. We are going to be talking about it much later. So, but you can also there are also other ways of searching in this environment. So you can use the word and to join two words. So whenever you want to type in here more than one word, you can use the word and. That's AND. So let me give you an example. Whenever you search for a word French history, find French history pamphlet, but not French sculpture, because that is what you type. For example, if I say French history, whatever information you are going to be getting here will contain, you see, only two items returned back. It will not contain anything other than the French history. So, but you can also use the word and. For example, I talked about and last time. Let me see French and history. And I press enter. Only one word appear. So the same Boolean or Boolean kind of functions you see in Google are also applicable here. So you have to be very conversant with that. But if assuming I want to use or, in Sinopia you don't use or here. Let me show you something. If you want to use the word or, you use what they call vertical pipe, something like this. And how do you type this vertical pipe? They call it vertical pipe. How do you type it? So you press your shift down, and if you are using handset, you can go to your extended facility features there. You can find it. But if you are using computer, you have to press shift down, and on your keyboard you look immediately after the P, the first button after the P, the second button after the P, the third button after the P that has backward slash. You will see pipe there written on it. All keyboards, whatever kind of foreign word or some object you want to write, something that is unique letter, or all these unique letter you want to write, they are written on the keyboard. So, but you need a combinational key. So by the time you press shift and you see, then you press that keyboard there, the pipe will appear. So let me press enter and see. You find out that the Sinopia search for French or history. You can see that the retrieval result were many. You see, if you look down here, you can see that so many pages. Page 1, I'm viewing some results on page 1 now. You can see, you can even count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like Google. Google always return 10 results of your search terms or search phrase per page. So by the time you click on the second page now, it will show you whatever result that you have there. The same thing applies to Sinopia. And I told you from the beginning that the reason why you have to search, you are searching, is for you to see if you can find a work that's related to the work you want to catalog now, so that you can edit. So Sinopia does not handle the multi-word searches as phrase sentences, as phrase searches. So in order to, like now, make Sinopia to treat your search phrases as one thing, you have to put quotation marks. For example, now I type French history. If you want Sinopia to look for a French history completely, you put question mark at the beginning here. Let me show it to you. You put enough question mark, sorry, you put quotation mark here, then you come to the back here, we put quotation mark. So then if I press enter, you find that there's nothing like French history. The way that so far there's nothing like that that has been entered into the Sinopia. So that is how it is. So, but there are situations that this your own case may be different. Maybe what you are looking for, maybe Nigerian history. Let me type Nigerian history and let us see something like. Let me delete this. This is Nigerian history, and I press enter. Let me see if I get any result. There's no result, so no information is being entered. You know, this is a developing, a practicing environment. So many different things have not been entered yet. So you have to, but there are situations too. You need to use what they call asterisk. They call it asterisk, something like this. Let me show it to you. Something like this. Can you see? Where you press Shift and 8 on your keyboard, but it's available in your handset. You go to extended letters or unique this thing, so you can find it in your phone. They are there. Other letters, other foreign letters, they are there. So now the function of asterisk as a wild card, when you put it at the end of your word, for example, let's assume I'm looking for the word sun, and I put asterisk, this asterisk immediately before the sun. So the Sinopia is going to find sun, maybe sunshine, maybe sunflower, etc. So whenever you type something and you put asterisk, it's going to look for anything. In fact, it's going to look for everything that has to do with that very word that you type. For example, now let me hit enter. You see, let's see the result. I have pressed enter. You see, it has searched for the available entry that has been made on sun. And here you find them. You can see them here. You know, there are not many, but almost about 9 of them. About 9 of them. So that is the importance of the use of asterisk to search for item on the Sinopia. Now let me also tell you something about filtering. You can see filter by class and filter by group. This is also very, very important. It's a very, very important menu or function in Sinopia. It's to the essence of using filtering feature here is to reduce the number of results. You can filter by the class of the resource. You can filter by the institution or group that created the description. You can also click on the filter by button. Click on the filter by, and then you can uncheck whatever that you don't want it to appear. For example, by the time I click here, let me show you something. I can decide to click and deselect anything. Maybe I don't want my search to contain anything that has to do with the big frame item. So, or instance, or text. Maybe it's only I want to see work that has to do with, I have to see the description that has to do with work. So I may not be interested in the rest. So what I simply need to do is to deselect them by clicking here. So it will be left with this, not select all this time around. So when I will click on this. So it's going to look for example, now if I type sun and I select only this, whenever I hit enter, it's going to look for sun with respect to what I filter. But right now I do not find anything there, so it doesn't display anything. So let me see sun asterisk again. and let me see what I got. Everything is highlighted. So you use this for filtering anyway. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so if I deselect and I select only one, I click go. So you see it has filtered it. So the same thing here. I can also filter by institution, University of Texas, or the select. So this function or feature is used for filtering. That's all I want to tell you, and it's very, very important. By the time you filter what you want, you can quickly click on this word go, and then you'll be done. So a quicker way to select only one category instead of unchecking all the others is to click only. So the filtering feature is very, very important. So you can make use of it at all time. So, but do not forget, you can also search from dashboard. Let me click on dashboard so that you can see. This is the dashboard. I can click on dashboard. I'm returned back to the dashboard. You see, I just clicked on it. The dashboard saves your most recent searches. If you have searched for anything, just as I did now. So to quickly redo a recent work, maybe you did the work again, you want to work on it again, you go back to your dashboard. So it will help you. It will bring up. Let me quickly remove this. All right. To bring back to the environment here what you just finished work on. So the dashboard tabs and scroll down to recent searches. You can magnify. You can check whatever that you have done. So in the recent, but we have not done anything yet. So I'm just showing you how to search for something. So this is very, very important. So do not also forget that much later on I will teach you how to search by URL, Uniform Resource Identifier. So you will learn how to save your description, which generates a URL. I'm going to be teaching you much later in the course of this. And if you know a description URI already, you can enter it into this search environment, just as you can see this example. This is a typical example of URI, Uniform Resource Identifier, which creates the links between and among works, instance, and items, and descriptions, and even administrative metadata you are going to be seeing much later. So the result include a description with URL and any other description that refers to it. But right now we do not have any URI, so we don't need to bother ourselves later until we learn how to create our own metadata, and then we generate our own URI. So we'll be using it to search. Maybe as much as your work grow, as your metadata entry field enrichment grow, you can begin to use your URI to search for a particular work that you want to edit, that you want to relink to other work, and something like that. So this is the end of this part 2. I will be uploading it, and I want you to view it, to practice it, follow it up, and ask questions on what we have already trained on. It will be appreciated if your questions will be much more on the training that we have already created, the one that you have already watched. And if there's any part that you do not understand, that is when I expect questions. But if you ask questions far away ahead of what we are doing now, because we are many, I may not be able to respond accordingly or perfectly the way you might want it. So please bear with me. Thank you so much. God bless you. Until we meet again in the third section or the third part of this training.